is Mental Health Month. Now more than ever, mental health is important in our society. It impacts everything we do, everything we say, and everything we think about. Having positive mental health increases the way we move, the way we interact with people. It impacts our relationships and how we build self-esteem. So today, the fRamily is here to talk about 5 ways that mental health can impact us in a positive way. First, spend time with family and friends.
I personally think spending time with family and friends is very important, because also having me time is important too. But when you spend time with family and friends, you get to laugh, live life, make memorable moments that you cannot take away. And those moments are very important when it comes to your mental health, of knowing that my family have my back no matter what. They're there for me. It stabilizes you in so many ways, of knowing that you have that family support, that the friends support.
For me, and I've said this before, my friends are more like family for me. And so even when I'm not sharing maybe what I'm going through personally, just you all being around, kicking back at the house, or we're at a restaurant, that's my mental health checkup for me. Like it brings me back to a place of remembering that, you know, however low I was in that moment, it
Right.
pulls me away from it. So I have to have my friends around me. Like I have to have my friends around me.
And you know, to your point, I love that I have a friend circle and multiple friend circles that I can rely on when I need them. But I also love my family. I love, one of the biggest things that my family does is we have game night, you know, and that is just a stress relief for all of us, because in my family we're so busy and we're so entangled in different aspects of life, church, work, and so to have a release, that is something that I look forward to in not just my friend circles, but also with my family, having just an opportunity to kind of like relax, relate, release, so to speak, and just have that time that we can kind of reflect, we can laugh. That's the time that we, you know, bring up memories, things that we've done in the past, and it just helps, especially with, in my case, with losing a family member, which can definitely hurt mental health and affect mental health. It's sometimes good to have those family conversations, and in a lot of ways, friend conversations. I know we all talk about my father, who I lost, and so we laugh, we joke, and we think about memories, and so all of those things come up in those conversations with family.
Do you all think like the church has done their part when it comes to like mental health awareness? I struggle, and I ask that question because I struggle when the world is bringing awareness to all these different things, specifically mental health this this month. But I just always feel like the church is not our church. Shout out to the Covenant Church of Atlanta. But I always think they're so silent, and it's like, well, just pray about it. You know what I mean?
Well, I think it's not just the church. I think in the Black church, which is what I can speak to, is an extension of the Black community. And when you look at that, just that aspect, the Black church is an extension of the Black community. When you look at that statement, then you answer your own question.
Sure.
For so long, the Black community did not address, acknowledge, talk about mental health, therapy.
Right.
I'm not okay, depression, I mean, ADHD, any type of anything. And I mean, you're a teacher, so you see a lot of this all the time with mental health, like in the school. It's just the Black community as a whole has shied away. And I think what the church is now doing is trying to put their foot in the game and say, hey, it's okay to pray and seek God.
And therapy.
And therapy. I mean, it's okay to pray and seek the advice of a therapist.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, I always say, as it pertains to the church, I think that, of course, we go to church, you know, to glorify God, and, you know, we hear the preacher preach and all of that. But I also feel like again, therapy is important.
It is.
Very.
It is very
Yes.
extremely
Yes.
important. I think that, of course, we can pray to God all day and look for answers, but sometimes you need a response back. In a
that's
particular instance of, what do you think about this situation?
Right.
We always say, God may, or He may not come when you want Him, but He'll be there right on time.
Right.
But listen, I need an answer now. Like,
Yeah.
I need an answer now.
True.
So that's why I think that therapy is important, because sometimes you need that. How should I react in this situation, or was I wrong in this situation? Whereas, in church, you're more like, we're glorifying God, and we're asking God, hey, can you do this for me? Or, you know what I'm saying? But I just think that, again, therapy is extremely important for that one-on-one interaction.
'Cause I work with kids from K through 5, and I notice mental health in some kids now, and we're like, no, he's just bad, or no, he need a whooping. Well, no, he really needs some therapy. He really needs some counseling, because we don't know what kids are going through. I tell people every day, kids are like little people, little human beings, like little adults. They have feelings too. Any behavior that you have prior to 7, from birth to 7, is like formed as an adult. I tell people, like, if that child is very shy, and if you don't kind of work on it to get it out of them before they turn 7, that's going to be their behavior.
Yeah, they call those like the formidable years.
Yes.
Those
Yes.
years that
Yes.
a
Yes.
child is molded.
Yes.
And what people have to realize is that those are the opportunities that we as adults, as
Yes.
parents,
Right.
as family members, extensions of that child's main household, we have somewhat of a responsibility to assist in molding those children, and then calling to the carpet things that we may see. Like
Right.
you as a teacher, you've told me before with my child, because my daughter is very outspoken, but there's a learning curve that I noticed early on. And just to be transparent, I had issues, and I would go to Tavia often and say, well, they are not giving Maya this assignment, or I don't feel like they're giving her the attention that they need. And she would be like, oh no, they need to have a work management plan
Today.
And I was like, okay,
Yes.
well, tell me what I need to say, because I want to make sure that whatever my child needs, she has.
I want to commend you for that, because you have some parents that are in denial.
Yeah.
If you see these behaviors in your child, don't feel bad. Guess what? God gives you the things and the source and the resources that you can go, and the people that you need to give you that help. Me, anybody, a doctor, those people are out there to help you, to know that there are things for your child to get help, because don't push it away. Don't push it to the side. Get your child the help that they need. I tell all parents, it's not a bad thing when your child has a developmental delay.
Mental health can affect adults, and it can affect children and all those in between.
Yes.
That's good.
Yes.
And it's important to lean on your village. Like,
Yes.
I think in the Black community, since we kind of made that statement as well, we are, for whatever reason, afraid to say, hey, I've noticed something in your child, because we don't want to damage the friendship, or we don't want to damage the relationship. But I say this often, like, you can either cry now or cry later.
Right.
And
Right.
if I can help your child and know that it may cause a little rift in our relationship now, it may take 5 years for you to come back around and say, you know what, you were right.
You were right.
But at least the child gets the help that they
And-
need,
yeah.
you know. And then the other part about that is it's a growing moment for you too. Like, if I would not have listened to you, then now I'm damaging another generation.
Correct.
Right.
And it's not fair to keep passing those on.
And is it worth it?
It's not
It's not worth it,
It's
because
not
in the
worth it.
long run, that child is then going to become an adult
Right. Absolutely.
that has damage
Yes.
or has issues.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So we have to acknowledge that.
Yeah.
That was good.
That
so,
was good, yeah.
so our first way to promote healthy mental health is to spend time with family and friends.
Yes.
Spend time with your village. Talk about those things that sometimes you don't want to talk about. Therapy,
Yep.
mental health, issues at home. Just have those conversations in a good setting, in an easy setting, in a comfortable setting, and I'm almost certain it will be free flowing. All right. So number 2, our second way of increasing positive mental health is journaling. Journaling on things that you are grateful for. I mean, how many of us sometimes can write down a list of cons? That
Yes,
pro and con
yes,
list can
yes,
be super long,
yes.
but how can we increase mental health? Positive thinking is how we do that. So Barney, Breakfast with Barney is one of your books. It's a journal book,
Yes,
and
yes.
it's on your screen now. Go out and get it. The link will be in our bio. But I mean, it promotes journaling.
Yes.
And so I'm gonna go to you first. What do you think about journaling? Grateful thoughts,
Yeah,
gratitude,
yeah.
and positive thoughts.
I'm a big journaler. Is that a word, journaler?
Journaling. We're gonna make it a word.
Yes.
How do you spell that? But no, I am big on journaling because through therapy, that I found out that is one of my biggest ways of expressing my feelings. I have not, in the past, I have not been a big person to talk things out loud, you know, for whatever reason. We don't have to go in that tonight. But I and I actually like to write in my journal and not just on my phone or whatever. But I started a few years ago, maybe 2 years before the pandemic, I started a gratitude journal. And so literally every day, I don't do it as much now, I need to get back to it, so thank you for the reminder. But I at least, when I wake up, before I start my day, before I get on social media, I grab my journal and I literally write 5 things that I'm grateful for. 5 for the number of grace and waking up, you know, being deep a little bit.
Yeah.
But, and it's just simple things like, you know, I am grateful that I'm able to brush my own teeth. I am grateful for my relationship with Quine. I am grateful that I have a job. Like, I am just simple 5 things that you just never, that we take for granted. I'm
Daily
grateful.
reminders.
Daily reminders. And it just starts my day off in a positive way. And even in that moment where, you know, we all have them coworkers that will push you to the point and you done type the whole email.
Yeah.
My Lord.
And I'm like,
First of all,
as previously stated.
as previously stated.
It just reminds you, you know what, take a deep breath.
Yeah.
You may need to type it out, but delete it because it's literally not worth it. But creating that gratitude journal every day, and then before I go to bed at night, I will go back and read what I wrote so that I kind of put positive thinking in my sleep, if that makes sense. So that, again, I'm not fighting in my sleep or worried about, you know, things that may have happened during the week or throughout the day. Just trying to keep positive things around me. So it helps.
But how about we normalize? Let's bring that back.
Mhm.
Let's
Okay.
normalize positive thinking.
Yeah.
Let's normalize forcing ourselves to think better,
Yes.
to think greater, to think positive. Because sometimes, like I said before, I can pull out the negative stuff.
Yeah.
Sure.
It's
Easy.
hot. I'm tired.
Yes.
The boss is getting on my nerves.
Yes.
I can pull out everything that's wrong. It should be that easy
Yeah.
to pull out the things that are going good.
And I also like listening to positive affirmations, if that makes sense. Sometimes I don't want to get in my car and listen to all the R&B or all the gospel. I just want to hear stuff poured back into me. I am enough. I am who I am. I just have to hear that over and over, and that helps me. I know sometimes I'm a person that just don't think before I speak.
No.
And I just blurt it out like, you know,
true.
you can get
What?
it. Yeah. That job was made for me. You can get it, like in any moment. But the older I get, I'm trying to like, what positive word could you put there in that place?
Let's stay right there.
Yeah.
Okay.
What happens when we get older?
Yes,
The
Lord.
things
I don't know, y'all
that
should
I
tell us.
used to do. I mean, it's just like,
Yeah,
it
yeah.
literally is that saying, that scripture, wherever it comes from, the things that I used to do, I don't do anymore. I am a witness to
Yeah,
that.
I'm a
Because,
second witness.
listen, I was a 0 to 100.
Yes, quick.
So quick.
Yeah.
Like,
Quick.
you couldn't say anything wrong to me. I would let you
And
have
wouldn't
it.
care.
And wouldn't care.
And that's the sad part about me. I felt like now I realize like, oh, I might have hurt her feelings, and I might think about it when I get in the car if I get angry,
After the
because they say after the fact.
Right.
But the thing said, the scripture said, be angry but sin not. So I have to keep reminding myself, did you sin against her? I gave her what she needed to hear at the time. But it was like, I have to remind myself like that might have hurt her feelings, because sometimes we don't realize words are positive and powerful. They can either make you or break you. Or I have to just, when I pour back into me, I realized I need to pour back into others. Because at that moment, what she's going through might not even have anything to do
That's
with me, or
right.
what he's
That's
going
right.
through might not have anything to do with me. So I have to think about it, because at that point, sometimes it used to be like, that trick came for me.
That who?
That trick,
Okay.
and let me go on and get him.
Enough.
Oh my God.
I think you need to hold it.
Yeah.
Right.
But you know,
no.
that was just a past I thought about,
Yeah.
how they used to come for me.
Yeah.
But now I realize that, it ain't, sometimes it's not even about me.
Positive thinking is so important to daily life, and it helps promote us to do more for ourselves.
Yes, yes.
Like if I'm
yes.
thinking positive, if I know that I can do something, I'm gonna go after it even
Yes.
harder, because I'm like,
Yes.
I can do it. I have the energy, I have the fortitude to do it. And so, journaling, positive affirmations, or just talking to yourself in the morning, looking in the mirror and saying, you are beautiful. Like you said, you are enough.
gorgeous.
Yeah, good morning, gorgeous. Go get it. God's
Yes.
got you. Whatever
Yes,
those
yes.
affirmations are, some people use Post-it notes. I don't know if y'all remember being Mary Jane.
Right.
Oh,
She
yeah.
had Post-it notes all over her
Yes,
house.
yes.
And then all of a sudden, everybody was putting Post-it notes on their
Yeah,
house.
yeah.
But that's a good thing. Maybe put it on your mirror in the bathroom, so when you go and brush your teeth, you're looking at positive affirmations.
yes.
Whatever that looks like, implement it in your life, because it can help increase your mental health. All right, well, we're at the third topic for increasing positive mental health. Exercise and eating and maintaining a healthy diet.
Well,
How many of us do that?
He does it the most. Honestly.
But I'm
Right,
also going
right,
to get that
right.
ice cream. I'm going to get my pie.
well, that's when I want to meet up with him, when he's going to get that ice cream and pie, because I haven't been exercising.
A lot of people think that is not a very big way, but it is.
It is.
We have to be very conscious of what we eat, what we put in our bodies, what we drink. I know I'm the first one to tell everybody, my battle is my Coca-Colas. Everybody on this couch know I love me a good cold Coke. But what I have started to do,
Tell us about what you
listen, but what I have started to do, like even today,
You
I
did.
asked for water, and I've started to try to implement at least 3 bottles, and that's huge for me, y'all. It's huge, because I get 3 bottles of Coke before I drink 3 bottles of water.
Yeah.
So I've started to implement water drinking, and then my husband and I, Marcus, are starting to walk. So, just small little steps of increasing that, getting us some more energy. That's that's how it helps increase your mental health.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I just see him on the side, y'all. He is so shady.
Well,
Listen, you want to go?
walking with to the refrigerator. Shit. We going to the fridge.
But listen, there's y'all for big sister.
Oh, okay.
But I can speak.
Yeah.
I can speak for myself. Like I have spurts where I'm like
Yeah.
very motivated, and I'm like, I'm going to the gym. This is what I'm gonna do. If I can't make it to the gym, I'm gonna do an at-home workout. I just got done doing football, and so that was a great way for me to exercise, because we were at least doing it 2 times a week. But I will say, just to tie it into mental health, however, is that, although it may be hard getting there, once you're there and you're done, I feel at least 100% better.
Yeah.
And so for my mind, I'm like, I just did that.
Yes.
I'm gonna want to cuss there. I did that mess. You know
Yeah,
what I'm
yeah.
saying? So
You on fire?
No.
I did
No,
that.
I did that.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I think for me, along with, again, turning to mental health, while I'm exercising, I like to listen to music. Like I'm a big music freak as it pertains to listening to music while I'm working out, because that's another way of mental health, of releasing stress for me, is exercising and also listening to music. So now the eating thing, I always say I'm gonna stop doing fried foods, the bread, the sugar. That's a big thing for me. The sugars, I love a good chocolate chip cookie. So, and milk and cold milk. Yes. So, but again, it's just a way for me to. It's a good way to release stress.
But I like what you said
Yeah.
when you said that once you're done, like it's hard sometimes when you're in it, you know, when you're in the exercise and in the routine and cutting out things that you're used to doing. But once you do it, you feel 100 times better. You feel better about yourself. You have energy. All of that, all of those things come with implementing that, maintaining a healthy lifestyle, which increases mental health. Barney, you have something to say? Our resident exercise guru.
Yes.
Listen, I'm no exercise guru, but I do it. And people think I'm playing when I say this. I literally work out so I can eat. Like that's my only motivation.
Wow.
I'm joking. Not my only motivation. I mean, just out of just keeping things flowing healthy through your body, even if it's twice a week, just doing something is good for my mental health, and just just to kind of release the stresses of the world.
Yeah.
So I try to stay consistent with it, and I'm kind of like you. Like there are moments when I'm 3-4 times a week, and I'll call Keon and be like, "You going?" And he's like, "Not in the morning."
Yeah.
But it's also a good way to network and then talk to other people, so you're not just. And I was from a transparency standpoint, living alone can be lonely at times. So for me, going to the gym and having like social interaction helps that as well. So I promote it. And I definitely can do better about my eating. Because y'all know me on Sundays, I'm gonna get me a pork chop from Q Time. It's in the West End if y'all want to go. But everything in moderation. So
Q Time still open?
Q Time is open. Yes, they are.
Oh my
I went there
for him.
Sunday.
Oh my
And for me.
goodness.
So you didn't get no food. But no, I think whatever you do, you should do. You have to do it in moderation, but you have to do something.
Good. And I think what we are gaining from this is, Fram, just keep moving. Get active, do something, look at what you eat, go to the doctor, see your physician, have those annual checkups. We don't talk about that in our community sometimes, but go to the doctor. Our next way to increase positive mental health is be forgiving. Forgiveness is very key to our mental health. Sometimes we're holding on to stuff, we're holding on to those grudges. Somebody has hurt us in our past. We have not forgiven them. And don't understand sometimes that forgiveness is not necessarily for the other person. It's for us.
That's good.
What do y'all think?
Yeah. I am grateful that I'm not a person that holds on to stuff, but I've also learned that that's a blessing and a curse. Because I legit move on. So if me and Brandon or me and Tavia have an if we talk about it and we say we move, I move on. Now I don't forget, but I will forgive because in my mind I'm just like, I don't have time to hold on to that a long time. And the other part about that is, I don't want to ever walk in a room and that person is already in the room and it changes my whole mood.
Yep.
That part.
You have to let it go.
You have to let it go.
That part.
And it's so many, so many people die every day. And especially coming out of a pandemic, like, we don't have time to hold on to stuff, forgive and move on. Like, genuinely.
So to your point, sometimes we have these interactions, like you should not walk into a room and be discombobulated or be afraid to talk to people. And sometimes people question that, like, oh my God, you're going to that party, or you're still friends with that person on social media, or you're still talking to that person and you have an issue with them, or you all are not on the same wavelength anymore. Yeah, because I've moved on. I've forgiven them. I've moved on, and I can be cordial.
I can be cordial.
Now, what they have an issue with is not my issue. But I can be cordial enough to walk into a room and say, hello, how are you doing? Let's get this thing going.
Yeah. Now, you can't come across my threshold.
You can't come across my threshold.
Protecting my peace.
Oh, no.
But, yeah.
Yeah,
But
we're
I
not going to
also
be
want to
friends.
add to this, just saying this. I don't want to give anybody that much space in me. I feel like if I keep holding it, you taking up space in me. So I don't have space to receive those affirmations or to receive positive vibes or thoughts from other people because you've taken up that space either in my mind or my heart. I used to be a person that hold grudges for life. You cross me, I would never talk to you. But I realized in my old big age that I am 47. I look good.
You look good, girl. Yeah,
Oh,
you
okay.
do. Yeah, you do.
Good morning, gorgeous. Yeah. I have come to the point to where it's not worth holding on to. I need to let it go. And I try not to hold it if I can. Like, I'm a daily work in progress, if that makes sense. But I try real hard not to let you take that space.
Well, for me, as far as like forgiveness, it just depends on what that person has done to me. For an example, if I have been lied to or if I've been cheated on, I think there's a process of forgiveness that I go through personally. So my first thing when somebody's done to me, I think is more anger first. And I think for me, it's internal anger because I don't necessarily just react. I'm not a reactionary person. I may like later on as I have thought about it, but for me, it's going to be internal anger for me. And then, of course, I acknowledge what that person has done and maybe what I have done as well. So, I think that acknowledgement of what that person has done to me and then what I may have possibly done to that person can be something that I also think about. And then at that point, I may then say, hey, this is what you've done to me, and this is how I feel, and I give that person time to respond. And then I will react after their response to see what it is. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think naturally I'm a very forgiving person. However, it just depends on what you have done to me. What that grudge or why am I forgiving you? Because, people have levels to, okay, if you have cheated on me, am I going to be able to forgive?
Help, Lord.
Yes, God.
Help, Lord.
Or if you lied to me, what type of lie
Lord.
was it? So I just think depending on what that particular thing is, if I'm able to quickly forgive, or if I'm just like, you know what, we've been down for 20 years, I could be easily to forgive you for this or that, but yeah, as brother has stated, I won't forget.
You shouldn't.
But also with that, brother, like even with the cheating thing, that could be a mental hurt or devastation to someone. Sometimes in life, you have to realize, yes, he or she cheated, but was it for a reason and a season? That person needed to show me who they were, and we need to move on so I can see them for what they're worth. Or, the cheating is sometimes it don't have anything to do with you.
No, let me tell you
I
something.
feel like
Put
I'm
the
gonna
camera on me.
I feel like I'm gonna need
Marcus,
this.
you
Lamar.
out the door.
Yeah.
That's a no go for me.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just my cutoff.
Yeah.
It is my no.
Okay.
And I mean, and I think all of us have to have that boundary where we're like, this is that one thing that you cannot do to me.
Yeah.
And I may forgive you down the line, but that relationship is now severed. And for me, that's my one.
Do you articulate that in a relationship, like ahead of time, or if it?
Hello, I'm Cornet Ford. If you don't know me,
Hey,
I articulate everything. What we just talked
Yeah.
about in one of our conversations, confrontational spirits.
Yeah.
I am a confrontational spirit, and not confrontational to the sense where I am, we gonna nuck if you bug,
Yeah.
that kind of thing, but I don't let things fester.
Yeah.
So if I have an issue or if I have an inkling of anything,
Absolutely.
it's coming up in conversation.
Yeah.
Whatever it is,
Yeah.
it's gonna come up. So like I have verbalized, I mean, me and my husband have been together, married for 10 years. We've been together for 16. And so when we talk, our conversations are very blunt and very open because we've been together for so long. So we've experienced so many things. But once this got on my finger, certain things change.
Yeah.
Certain conversations change.
Yeah.
Certain
Yeah.
expectations change from a dating relationship.
Yeah.
And I mean, this might be another conversation for later on down the road.
Right.
But
Yeah.
there are differences between a dating single, because otherwise, unless you're married, you're single.
Single.
no
Yeah.
covenant.
Yeah.
And a lot
yeah.
of people don't understand that, but that's
You're a yes person. You're a yes.
I mean, it's just you're not
Yes
married.
to him, yes to her. Yeah.
So once
Yeah,
you come
so-
under contract,
Yeah.
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 That's good.
Yeah.
So yeah, We could go down a whole rabbit hole on this one.
yeah.
I'm
And
trying
all
to
of it have to do with mental health.
all of it have to do with mental health, but
Yes.
it's very, I think the bottom line with forgiveness is understanding that you are the most important part of that equation.
Yes, yes.
And once you understand that, moving on is going to be easier. Forgiving will be easier because I can't keep letting this into my mind, into my
Right,
space,
right.
into my heart,
Right.
into my environment, and still function without
Yep.
Right.
forgiveness. You have to forgive. Forgetting means that you will not be able to apply the lesson later.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Right?
yes.
With from everything that we experience, from every interaction, whether it's good or bad, we should take something away.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Yeah.
forgetting means that you can't apply the lesson.
Right.
Yeah.
My dad's godmother would say, if you go down the street and the dog bites you the first time, it's the dog's fault. But if you go down that same street and that same dog bites you, it's your
your
fault
fault.
because
That's it.
you knew the dog was
Yeah.
down there.
Yeah. Fool me once,
Shame on
shame
you.
on you. Fool me twice,
Shame on me.
Yeah.
So, our last and final way to increase positive mental health is do what you love. And I think every person on the fRamily Agenda podcast can say they do several things that they love. If you don't know what that thing is, figure it out.
Yeah.
Yes.
If it's sewing, if it's coloring a coloring book. I know someone that literally is a pro at coloring. I mean, whatever it may be, do it. Do what you love. Do what makes you happy, right?
Right.
What makes you happy?
Right.
Absolutely. Y'all know this. I enjoy community service. I love social activism. I love, advancing the community in a positive direction. So one of the things that is near and dear to my heart, and you all are always a part of it, is, the Every Color Matters Cancer Foundation.
Yes.
And so that's something that I love. And one day it will be what I'm doing full time, hopefully. So, but just being able to do that brings me so much fulfillment and joy. So,
Yeah. I think for me, being a creative has been something that I have tapped into in my adult age that literally makes me happy. I mean, from this podcast to creating plays, to being a minstrel, I mean, to being a graphic artist, to writing books. I mean, I literally have found a niche for myself where I know I'm good at it. And I love to do it. I mean, it gets a little tight sometimes. I'm not gonna say stressful, but the schedule of keeping up with all the little nuances of life
Yeah.
sometimes prevents us from doing what we love, but just take the time to create the pause.
Yeah.
Like create that opportunity for yourself
Yes.
to do what you want to do.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
that's where healthy living comes
Yeah.
in.
Yeah, I think for me, as far as do what I love, again, it's what we've pretty much already have spoken about. I love spending time with my family and friends. I love, again, listening to music. Again, when I do have time, I do like to play video games, which, which I don't really have a whole lot of time to do. But those are kind of like my vices to kind of, escape from maybe like the realities of the bills.
Adulting.
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 But what I love to do is just be around my friends and laugh and just enjoy the moment. Take that pausing moment to enjoy life. And people talk about me, but I love to sit in my car. I love to sit in my car. That's my me time. Either I'm sitting in my car talking on the phone or I'm sitting in my car listening to music. It's that time where I say like,
Nobody's
bothering me. Nobody's calling me pumpkin. Nobody's calling me mama. At that moment is about me. So I just enjoy my family and friends mostly.
So I think that we've covered just a few of the ways that mental health, positive thinking can be implemented in our daily lives. And we hope that you all apply these things to your daily life and move forward.
Before we go, I want to leave you with this quote. James Baldwin says, "You have to go the way your blood beats. If you don't live the life you have, you won't live any other life. you won't live life at all. Just make sure that you live,
Laugh.
Love.
And be well. Happy Mental Health Awareness Month from the Fram. We love you.